It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com, and Big G TV.
The Coach's Show is brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. Time to talk some Vergne girls basketball. Shanice Cason, the head coach, joins us this morning from shoot-around, probably, right?
Yes, sir.
This is the start of the district tournament, and let's kind of look back at the regular season a little bit before we start the district tournament. Wound up, working out the 3 seed, I think, in the tournament, right, for you?
Actually, we flipped a coin.
Oh, yeah.
And we got fourth. We split with Smyrna, so we had to do the little tiebreaker there, and ended up getting fourth due to the coin toss.
Heads or tails? I mean,
I went with heads, man. I had a good feeling, but the feeling failed.
yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
First year, I guess, in coin toss. That tells you something about the district this year, and to me, one of the storylines of this girls basketball season, I think, has been the growth that we've seen not only in your team but also Lonnie's team, and that kind of gives us this back and forth a little bit and the split in the regular season. But we've seen some things that say we're on the right track. Do you feel like you're at that point now?
I think we've grown a lot. We're not the same team that we once started with. I think they've had time to get acclimated to what exactly I'm asking for. I think that they have grown to be patient, grown to get a better understanding of the flow of the game and what is needed at any given point of the game now. So I think we're actually in our flow and in our rhythm. I've always been told that you want to play your best basketball towards the end of the season, and I think that's where we are. Our last 3 games has proven it against Siegel, Oakland, and Blackman. I just think we played really, really well compared to where we were at the beginning of the season.
Is the speed of the game one of the hardest things to – I mean, you really can't teach that, but is it one of the hardest things to understand and comprehend and try to slow it down for players?
I think it is. But it's also when you got a new coach coming in and you have kids that have been with another coach for a very long time, they're used to a certain way of playing, and not necessarily saying that it's wrong or that it's right, but each coach comes in with a different mentality and a different mindset. Sometimes we need to play fast, and sometimes we need to play slow. I think teaching kids at this age pace is the hardest thing, not necessarily to play fast, but what is the change of pace of the game.
Looking back at the last few games of the regular season for you, a loss to Smyrna, and it was very close. Then a 3-point loss to Oakland, which finished number 2 in District 9, and then you get the win over Siegel from District 9, and Blackman on senior night. Man, that was a close game with state-ranked Blackman, number 5 in the state.
Yeah, I think my girls came out. I think the Smyrna game kind of gave them a wake-up call, and I kind of went off. And I think they understood the wrath that I was throwing down, and they reacted how I would like for them to react. They came out, and I think they played completely different. And that's how I've been trying to get them to play all year. So I think that the mentality that we have coming into today against Blackman is the same that we had when we were here. We're just going to play hard, play with a lot of passion, play with a lot of effort, and try to do the little things right.
So it's sometimes happens, and this is going to be the case. The last game that you played is going to be the first game that you play in the district tournament. So what about that turnaround? Do you try to put in new wrinkles? How do you handle playing a team back-to-back into the regular season and then start of the postseason?
Yeah, I think we go into it with the same mindset. I know that she'll make adjustments, and we've made some adjustments as well. But I think that you don't change too much because you've been trying to preach all year what you're looking for, and when you start throwing things at these kids that are new and that they are not used to, I think that's when you start to see the turnovers and all the things starting to accumulate. But I think we're just going to stick to our regular game plan and just play hard.
Mm-hmm. Shanice Cason with us, Laverne girls basketball coach. Coach, you want to see, as the season goes along, you want to see an upward trajectory of how things are going, in that bell curve, if you will, and going into postseason, you want to be kind of on the rise and get hot right there. Some teams you hear about, well, they peak too early. We've seen that with some really good basketball teams, and they're hot as a firecracker, in the second half of the regular season, but toward the end it kind of rolls off, and then all of a sudden they have tough time in the tournament. Do you feel like you're on that upward motion here going into the postseason with your girls now that you've gotten the first 2/3, kind of consider the first third of the season, the preseason games and all those games before Christmas, and then district tournament or district play, and then we talk tournaments in the last leg here. Do you feel like you're kind of moving on that upward trajectory here?
I do. I think my seniors, Alexia Buggs and Azranique Sistrunk, I think they do a good job of knowing what we want and knowing where we want to go. And I've literally put the ball in their hands. I've had a post player step up this season, and they're playing some of the best basketball. Like I said earlier, we want to play the best basketball at the end of the season. Get all the wrinkles out in the very beginning. They weren't used to me. I wasn't used to them. But I think we're all used to each other, and we've come together as a team and as a family. And we're just trying to play hard to get to the next stage of the region.
It's something that you work at as a coach to try to, to progress to that point. I mean, there are things that you do, things that you add in as the season goes along, things that you believe are going to bring your kids along. And it looks like you have obviously done that. But doing that in a first year, it's kind of different. And at times it can be like drinking from a fire hose if – just for the girls and understanding new coach, new system, all of this kind of thing. So how do you think your team has reacted to all of that this year?
I think they've done fine. I feel like I was standing in front of the fire hose, though, trying to see which way to turn the wrench because I'm not used to using a wrench. So it was just me trying to figure out what our needs were at the beginning of the season. And I'll tell you, we've made a drastic change in the way we run our offense, the way we play defense. We're just trying to see what works for us, just because playing in those play days are different during the summer and beginning of the season. And so when you get in the district, especially, our district is good. Our region is good. So we're looking at what works for us and what will work for us in our district. So that's kind of what we were doing at the beginning of the season, running tests and trials.
And it may be for some of those girls who play summer ball and AAU and all that. High school basketball is so different because you've got coaches who have watched just about every game you've played, and they know your tendencies. If you're going to drive the ball to the right 80% of the time, they're going to try to make you go to the left 80% of the time. They want to take away the best thing you can do. That's quite an adjustment sometimes for high school kids.
Correct, and I think we've done a good job also on defense, trying to make sure that we're scouting. I've got a great staff that have played collegiate basketball all the way around, and we watch film a lot, and we just look at it and say, okay, what does this player like to do? And we try to give the girls their keys to success, so that we can figure out what our keys to success are.
Well, we carry, of course, the Lady Raider games, and I hear the coaches always talking about, this assistant coach had the scout, so, your coaches have the scout and they tell you everything. And I know Coach Ensel believes in the scout, and so do you, right?
Absolutely. If we don't have a scout, then we're not trying and we're failing our kids. So I think it's important, especially in our district and our region, if these kids are wanting to go play collegiate basketball, that they're able to see what a scout looks like. so that we can continue to make sure that they're growing individually and collectively.
Well, this district tournament's going to happen in a flash. We've got today and then again on Monday. So whatever happens today determines who you play on Monday, and then we're talking region tournament in the blink of an eye, and that's also hard to believe.
Yes, I'm trying to get my girls to understand that we can do something that hasn't been done here in a very long time. As long as we can figure out how to come together and stay together and let nothing come in between us, take every possession as it is and value it, and then just continue to grow from each game and learn from our mistakes. So we're looking forward to going out tonight and just competing.
Well, that's at 2 o'clock this afternoon. You don't have to make a very long trip. Just headed over to Smyrna, and you'll actually kick off the District 9 4A tournament with the Blackman Blaze. Good luck in that game, Coach, and we look forward to following you here from the district to the region, and then we'll see what happens, right?
Yes, sir, and I really appreciate your time, and come support the Lady Wolverines today. We'll look forward to giving you a little bit of a competition and a show.
There you go. Blue and white filled the stands over at Smyrna High School for the Laverne Wolverines. That's Shanice Cason joining us here on the Coaches Show this morning, and it's brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more about them at craigstaxservice.com.